Hello, good evening, all. Today we'll be discussing the concept of the right bundle branch block. So, coming to right bundle branch block, I have tried to simplify this topic and make it as easy as possible for beginners who are trying to read ECG. So, before we come to this right bundle branch block, we should know the basic anatomy, which I guess everyone who has reached this stage must be knowing already. So, if we consider this as the cardiac muscle, this being the SA node, here somewhere being the AV node, from SA node to AV node, we have the fibers, and from AV node, we have a bundle of His, which divides into two bundle branches, the left and the right bundle branch. This is the right bundle branch. This is the left bundle branch, which further divides into the anterior and the posterior fascicle. Left bundle branch, one is the anterior fascicle and another one is the posterior fascicle. So today we'll be discussing about the block of this, the right bundle branch. So before we come on to this, the right bundle branch block, we should first know the normal QRS pattern, how the QRS pattern is recorded in a case of a normal person. Then we'll see how the bundle branch blocks actually occur. For diagnosing bundle branch blocks, we only need to see the QRS pattern in the chest leads, which are from V1 to V6, which are our chest leads. If we see the orientation of these leads, suppose this is the ventricular myocardium. The left ventricle being the thicker part, the right ventricular comparatively thin, and this is the septum. If we see the orientation of our chest leads, here somewhere we have the V1, here somewhere we have the V6. In between you have V2, V3, V4 and V5. So whenever we have a normal impulse, our normal impulse actually reaches down the bundle branches, and from there it diverges into the right and the left bundle branch. So whenever there is a activation of ventricle, whenever there is the ventricular depolarization, we should see how this ventricular depolarization actually happens. The ventricular depolarization, first it begins with the depolarization of the septum, which is from the left to right in this direction. And this ventricular depolarization, it begins with the depolarization of septum from left to right, and this is done by the left bundle branch. So whenever we see there is a ventricular depolarization, it occurs from left to right, and it is done by the part of the left bundle branch. So if you see the lead V1 here, in lead V1, if this is the baseline, you can see that the initial depolarization direction is towards the V1 and it goes away from the V6. So in the lead V1, initially the septal depolarization causes a deflection positive deflection, and whereas in the V6 you have a negative deflection. The next step in depolarization is the depolarization of the ventricular muscle. How this ventricular muscle depolarizes: the right half of the ventricular muscle, the right ventricle, is depolarized by the right bundle branch, and the left ventricular muscle is depolarized by the left bundle branch. So if you see, the depolarization vector of the right ventricle is in this direction, and the depolarization vector of the left ventricle is in this direction. As we know that the ventricular muscle mass of the left ventricle is much more as compared to the right ventricular muscle mass, the total depolarization vector lies in this direction, which is our total depolarization vector. So after the ventricular septal depolarization, we have a ventricular muscle depolarization whose vector faces towards V6, which is away from the V1. So we get a negative deflection in V1 and a positive deflection in lead V6. This is the case of a normal individual, where in lead V1 we get the RS complexes, whereas in the lead V6 we get QR complexes, where this Q denotes the smaller amount of the amplitude and R denotes the larger amplitude. Now coming to the bundle branch block, RBBB. Again the same concept. This is the ventricular muscle, right and the left ventricles. This is the septum. But now, as the bundle branch is blocked, this right bundle branch is blocked. If this was our bundle of his right and the left bundle branch, these are the fascicles. But now this right bundle branch is blocked. So how will be the deflections? We'll see. If you see, lead V1 will lie here, V6 will lie somewhere here. As this right bundle branch is blocked, the initial depolarization, which is from this direction, from left to right of ventricular septal muscle, will not be affected, as the ventricular septum is depolarized from the left bundle branch. So in the lead V1, as the depolarization is towards the lead V1, we'll get a positive deflection, and as it is away from V6, we'll get a negative deflection, initial negative deflection. Now the second phase of ventricular depolarization is the depolarization of the ventricular muscle mass, which is the right ventricular muscle mass and the left ventricular muscle mass. But as the right bundle branch is blocked, the right ventricular muscle mass, this part is also depolarized by the left bundle branch. This also depolarizes the right ventricular muscle mass. So here, when the initial depolarization force, as discussed in a normal person, will be towards the V6, as the muscle mass of the ventricular muscle is more towards the left side. So what we'll get is, as it is away from the V1, we'll get a negative deflection in lead V1, and we'll get a positive deflection in the lead V6. But remember here, as the right ventricular muscle is depolarized by the left bundle branch, as the right bundle branch is blocked, this ventricular depolarization of the right ventricle is delayed, and this ventricular muscle as a whole continues to depolarize in a vector which faces in this direction. So again we have a third depolarization force in lead V1, which is of positive amplitude, and as it is away from V6, we have a negative waveform. So we can see in V1, in a case of RBBB, we have a complex of R, S, R dash type. Why R dash? Because it is the second positive deflection, and already we have a first positive deflection is R, and it is capital because amplitude is more. And in the V6 we get Q, R, S. So this is the concept of actually RBBB, why we get this type of pattern RS R dash in lead V1 and QRS in lead V6. Let us take an example of one ECG here. This is the ECG of a person. Here you can see in lead V1, here we have a complex of R, S, R dash, and similarly in lead V6 you have a complex of Q, R, S. So this ECG is suggestive of right bundle branch block. This right bundle branch block can be seen in completely normal individuals. It can be seen in the cases where there is strain on the right side of the heart, any pulmonary condition such as COPD, pulmonary thromboembolism, or it can be also seen in some other conditions as well. One more thing to notice here is we have something called as the T-wave inversions. T-wave inversions in a person of RBBB. These T-wave inversions are called as secondary T-wave inversions. Wave inversions. Why these are called secondary? Because there is something called as primary T-wave inversions. This primary T-wave inversion is seen in the case of MI, when the MI has evolved. Whereas the secondary T-wave inversions, which are the cases apart from MI, you can see these secondary T-wave inversions here. These secondary T-wave inversions can also be seen in first is RBBB and also right ventricular hypertrophy. How these T-wave inversions are? These are something like we get a R, S, R dash with T-wave inversions like this. R, S, R dash with T inversions. One more concept to note here is what is complete versus incomplete RBBB. Complete RBBB is when you have a QRS with the duration of more than 0.12 seconds, and incomplete is if you have a QRS of a duration less than 0.12 seconds. Thank you.